Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, and as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Rrtual Beasts. Yes, that deck. And yes, I do genuinely believe what the title says. Rrtual Beasts are the best deck for KC Cup. Why? Well, they're the best deck consistently for KC Cup. Not for this specific KC Cup, but for KC Cup in general. I genuinely believe, as well, that Rrtual Beasts are the best deck ever printed in Duel Links. Now, quickly before you click off or dislike the video or what have you, let me explain myself, okay? Rrtual Beasts are the best deck that has ever been printed because of the fact that, one, they didn't require much of a nerf. In fact, honestly, you could probably unnerf them and not much would change. As long as Treacherous Trap Hole was banned, they'd be fine, honestly. Hate Runade was a big issue with this deck, as well as Treacherous Trap Hole, and now that both of those are basically on the chopping block or gone, I could really see them coming off of the limited list and being totally fine. Second of all, they get better the more you play them. The more you play the deck, the more you understand it, the better it gets. Third of all is the fact that, honestly, they're incredibly fun to play. Like, genuinely, they're one of the most fun decks that I've played. I consistently come back to it and enjoy it. And lastly is the fact that they are incredibly versatile. You can use them in every meta, and they've seen a lot of play in every meta because they can answer anything with a skill, right? Like you can have Destiny Draw or a Beatdown or something like that. They can tech in a myriad of cards because they are able to see a lot of their archetype very effectively, right? They can tech in very powerful cards as well, like Herald of the Abyss, right? Or Lightning Vortex, and still utilize them very effectively. They have consistent removal. Anyway, and the fact that they basically ignore battle traps like Sphere Karibo and, you know, Wall of Disruption, etc., etc. So, all in all, I think that they are super good, especially for KC Cup, and especially for just Duel Links in general. I don't think that they're overpowered, like something like Dark Lords or Invoked or something like that was, but they are still incredibly good and incredibly fun to play. So, I'm going to quickly go over the combos for the deck and how the deck works, and just as quickly as I can while still giving an in-depth guide. So, if you already know the guide, you can skip to the duels, but yeah, let's quickly do the rundown. So first of all, the lifeblood of the deck is Elder. It allows you to normal summon another Rrtual Beast monster during your main phase. Why is this important? Well, because you kind of need two monsters on the field in order to go into any of your fusion summons. Instead of polymerizing, you contact fuse, which basically, if you get two monsters on the field, you can go into any of these. Now, first and foremost, there are two distinctions between Rrtual Beast monsters. There's the Rrtual Beast Tamers, which are Elder, Winda, Laura, and Wen, currently, which I will, it's this one, which targets a banished monster and summons it, and special summons it. And then the Beasts, which are Cannahawk, the most important, Apelio, Petalfin, and Rampangu. So, you need at least one Tamer with one Beast. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's Winda? She's both. She's both a Beast and a Tamer, because she is a spiritual beast as well as a Tamer, right? So, all of the Beasts are spiritual beasts, all of the Tamers are Rrtual Beast Tamers. Make sense? Probably not, but it'll make sense in a while. Basically, you just need one of these guys, either the Laura, the Elder, or the Winda, along with one of these guys, the Cannahawk, the Apelio, the Petalfin, or the Winda. One of each of those, you can go into any of these fusion summons. Moving on, Elder, normal summon, you normal summon any of these other monsters. However, the ones that you want to summon are things like Winda, Cannahawk, Petalfin, or Apelio. Now let's go to Cannahawk's effect, the second most important card in the deck, kind of. Cannahawk says, once per turn, you can banish a Rrtual Beast monster face up from your deck. During your second standby phase after the effect activation, add the banished card by this effect to your hand. So, very similar to Gold Sarcophagus. If you know what that is, it's basically that, except for Rrtual Beasts specifically. However, the way that we are utilizing this is more so you summon this to banish a monster in order to go for a fusion summon of Ulti Kanahawk to banish those, which I'll get into in a second. You banish them, and then you're able to search and summon cards back onto the field, which again, I'll get into in a second. But Kanahawk is basically just used to add more materials into the banish zone, which is basically how you utilize a lot of your card effects. A lot of the cards focus on banishing, so keep that in mind. Next, we have Winda, a really important card and mostly a defensive card. So this card says if it's destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon a Rrtual Beast either from the deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. This is really powerful because during, say, the end of the battle phase, if this card did end up getting destroyed by the last monster, you're able to summon out one of the cards that you end up needing, like an Apelio or a Kanahawk or a Petalfin or something like that, in order to utilize it for next turn. Or more importantly, you could even go into itself. You set it, it gets destroyed. You special summon a second one. That one also gets destroyed. And then the last card you can go into is something like an Ulti Petalfin, right? And Petalfin can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's a 2800 defense. So, or it can't be, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So, really solid card. Winda, really solid, and it's treated as both a tamer and a spiritual beast, meaning it fulfills the conditions for anything. If you get 2 Winda on the field, you can go into any fusion summon. Make sense? Probably not. You'll see the combos later. Moving on, we have Petalfin. You banish a Rrtual Beast from the hand, a Rrtual Beast card from the hand. To target a card on the field, return it to the hand. Or a card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Really solid for getting rid of extra deck monsters or just big boss monsters. As well as if you're worried about some sort of battle trap or something like that, you can get rid of that as well. Really solid. Yes, it can only be used once per turn, but it's still really good. And it's not a hard once per turn, meaning if you normal summon it, activate the effect, then special summon it back using the effect of one of your fusion monsters or, you know, something like a Rrtual Beast Return or something. You can utilize the effect again, banishing another card, targeting another card, and returning it to the hand. Really solid card. Moving on, we have Apelio. During either player's turn, you can banish a Rrtual Beast card from the graveyard for the rest of this turn. All Rrtual Beast monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Pretty solid. The reason this is so good is because it gets cards out of the graveyard, which is really important. A lot of cards will end up going to the graveyard, and it's just nice to get them out. Also, the boost isn't negligible. It does allow you to go for lethal with something like an Apelio and an Ulti Kanahawk on the field, and pressure for lethal there. So, do keep that in mind. Then we have Laura, the comeback mechanic. Basically, you normal summon it, you target a Rrtual Beast monster in the graveyard, special summon it. This basically allows you to one card go into any of your search cards with Ulti Kanahawk, or go for the end with Ulti Pelio. Really solid. It's a good win more card as well. You can search it. If you haven't used your normal, you can normal it, and then you get another fusion summon. Really solid. As for the rest of the cards, the spells and traps are Rrtual Beast Return, banish a Rrtual Beast from your hand to target a Rrtual Beast in your banished or graveyards, and special summon it. And then Rrtual Beast Bond, which allows you to OTK more effectively. Banish 2 Rrtual Beasts, any Rrtual Beasts, meaning you don't have to have a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast. You just have to have any 2 Rrtual Beast monsters. Banish them, special summon a Rrtual Beast monster from the extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Really freaking solid. Allows you to go for another Ultipelio for lethal. And then the rest are tech cards. Sphere Karibo, Book of Moon, both are incredibly good cards to allow for Destiny Draw. Lightning Vortex, a Destiny Draw target, as well as Herald of the Abyss, in case there is something like a Lunalight Cat or Saber Dancer. You really got to deal with that somehow, and this is the way to do it. Anything that's protected from targeting, you'd probably just utilize this, and it works. As well as it does end up getting rid of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, which is a hugely detrimental card to the archetype. And yeah, you could just get rid of it if it's the only card on their field. Just activate it. They have to get rid of it. Fantastic. Moving on, we have the extra deck monsters. Now, this is where things get really complicated. So, let's say you have a Tamer and a Beast on the field. You can go into Ultipelio, which must be special summoned by banishing the above materials. as I mentioned, the Tamer and the Beast. And then, if it attacks, it's unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step. Now, note that it does say only when it attacks, meaning if you do end up getting the boost from Ultipelio, it won't matter when it's attacking. But if you get the boost from Ultipelio, which is during either player's turn, and the opponent attacks in, it's now a 3100 body, making it significantly more difficult to beat over, right? Say a Blue Eyes is on the field, you activate Apelio's effect, it's now a 3100, they attack into it, and all of a sudden they lose their 3000 attack point monster. Really solid. Also, it's unaffected. So you could just attack into things. They have a Spheric Aribo, doesn't matter. They have a Dimension Prison, doesn't matter. You're fine. Then, every fusion monster has this effect. Yeah. During either player's turn, you can return this card you control to the extra deck, then target 2 of your banished monsters, a Rrtual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast monster, special summon them in defense position. Now, this is incredibly good. So, in order to balance that whole mechanic, they made it so that you can only special summon one Rrtual Beast, whatever it may be, once per turn. So only one window. You can only special summon it once. You can only special summon Canahawk once. You can only special summon Elder once, right? All of the cards only once, which is why Elder getting an extra normal summon is so valuable. Moving on, we have the heart and soul of the deck, the actual heart and soul of the deck, which is Ulti Canahawk. What this card does is it allows you to search, and it's kind of complicated how it does that, so I'm not really going to explain it much here. I'm going to explain it when we actually get to see it. But basically, when you banish the materials to summon this, if you have another material, you're able to target 2 of those, then return to, and one of the ones that wasn't targeted and one of the ones that was targeted. Anyway, you summon it back, you get a search a card. I'll show you in a bit, but it has the same effect, where during either player's turn, you target 2 of your banished monsters, special summon them in defense position. Really good. And then I've already mentioned Petalfin's effect, which is cannot be destroyed by card effects. That's it. That's the only effect. It's a big booty. It can't be destroyed. A lot of people will not read this card or don't know how it works and will try to destroy it, and then you just sit there and they're like, well, I can't do anything, and you're like, haha. Then we have Malevolent Sin in case we can't get rid of something like it's too big or it's not untargetable, but it's just like it's better to banish it, like it's a set card or something like that. You can just banish it with Malevolent Sin, since we are playing quite a few level 4s in all of the beasts as well as Winda. So there you go. Let's hop into some duels and show you actually how the combos work. All right, so here we are up against our worst matchup, Blue Eyes. Now, we do end up going first, and we have a killer hand. So we have Spheric Aribo, Rrtual Beast Return. This could be literally anything. It doesn't really matter. But we got Elder and Hawk. So we got Canahawk and Rrtual Beast Tamer Elder. And you will see why this is so valuable. We're going to normal summon Elder. We are going to utilize the inherent effect to normal summon again into Canahawk. Canahawk is then going to banish a Rrtual Beast Tamer window, or Spiritual Beast Tamer window, allowing us to go into, with those 2 materials on the field, the Ulti Canahawk. Now, we are going to use the first effect of Ulti Canahawk, which says once per turn, you can target 2 of your banished Rrtual Beast cards, return them to the graveyard, and if you do, which this is very important, and if you do, you have to return something to the graveyard. Add a Rrtual Beast card from your deck to your hand. Okay? Now, here's how we can gain some advantage from this. We're sending 2 cards, right? Wrong. We activate the secondary effect to defuse and summon back the materials, basically. And we are going to target 2 cards. One that was already targeted for the first effect, and 2, a card that wasn't targeted with the first effect. Meaning, now we have 1 card being sent to the graveyard, and we're able to get 2 cards back onto the field. This is why Elder and Canahawk are so important. It allows you to get this combo started immediately without having to utilize 2 normal summons or anything like that. So now we have an extra Canahawk on the field, as well as we have Rrtual Beast Tamer Laura in our hand. The reason I went for Laura here was because it's really good follow-up, and since we're going first, we don't need to worry about the battle phase and trying to push for lethal. So I'm going to banish with Canahawk the Petalfin so that we can use it on the next turn. But here we go. They are going to go for their Blue Eyes play. They are going to summon out a Blue Eyes, and that's it. They're going to search another Blue Eyes, but all in all, this is a phenomenal start for us, because we're just going to Sphere Karibo this. The reason we need this Petal Fin on the field, and why we didn't activate the Petal Fin effect to defuse and then just have those two monsters on the field, is because we want both of them on the field. So we are going to go back into the Petal Fin and the Winda. Petal Fin here is then going to, we're going to draw a card. We're going to activate the Petal Fin effect. We are going to banish one of our Rrtual Beast cards. I ended up banishing the Rrtual Beast Return because I didn't end up needing it, and we're going to return that Blue Eyes to the hand. Now, here you might be thinking, well, now he's got Blue Eyes in the hand. How are you able to OTK before he gets Ultimate Dragons? Pretty simple. We're going to do the same Cannahawk loop. This card is insane, as I've mentioned, and we're just going to summon out a bunch of cards. We're going to also send the Cannahawk to the grave. This is important because Laura allows us to get it back and special summon it with her effect when she's normal summoned. So here we're going to add the Rrtual Beast Bond, and we're going to go into an Apelio. Then we are going to activate Laura's effect after normal summoning and summon the Cannahawk's effect, and then go into a second ult Apelio. Now, even if he had a Sphere Karibo, it wouldn't matter. Both of our attacks are going to go through. However, say he had something like a Kite Roid, and he's able to protect his life points effectively. Well, instead of sitting on two ult Apelios, which you might think, hey, that's pretty good, we could even defuse or banish both of our ult Apelios to go into a ulti Petal Fin, which remember is back in the extra deck even though we've already used it. So we could sit on that 2800 booty if we needed to. Because of Rrtual Beast Bond, which is a quick effect, banish any two Rrtual Beast monsters, summon out one from the extra deck. Really solid, dope cards. There you go. Cannahawk loop. And here we are going first up against Triamids. You can tell because they're playing a over 20 card deck with balance. Now, I drew really, really poorly. I drew all three of my spells and Winda against specifically King Golem. King Golem says no Winda effect. Doesn't happen. So, attack, end of the turn. Oh crap. What are we going to do? I draw a Book of Moon, which is okay if they don't end up drawing another card. During the battle phase, I'm just going to flip down their highest attacking monster and then end the turn. I'm going to normal summon this Winda and attack into this guy, but he's going to get a boost of some additional defense. Then he's going to go back into a King Golem, and then he's going to activate Triamid Pulse. Now, this is a huge mistake from them because guess what? Winda floats. Now, I could have floated into another Winda here, but the thing is, if I did that, I wouldn't be able to activate it because King Golem says no. So instead I go into a really big booty with ulti Petal Fin. Can't be destroyed by card effects, which means their Triamid Pulse doesn't matter. And more importantly, it's 2800, meaning it's really hard to beat over. So they're going to activate a whole bunch of effects. It's not going to end up mattering. They're like, let's get all of our cards in the graveyard. They're going to search out their master. All good and dandy. They're then going to normal summon the master onto the field. They're going to pop our back row. Our back row wasn't anything. Then they're going to try to pop our Petal Fin, and it doesn't work. And then they're just going to boost up and end the turn. Now, I finally end up drawing the Apelio. And here, I'm thinking, okay, I can get the Winda in to any of these monsters, more specifically one of these two, let it crash, let it explode, and then I can summon into something like a Petal or an ult Apelio and proceed to attack again. Or I could at least deal with the Dancer or something like that. But they say, no, we're going to Floodgate Trap Hole. However, I have Bond in hand, so I'm going to banish my two monsters and go immediately into an ult Apelio. I'm going to then deal with this Dancer because it is very important that they don't constantly have a way to boost their monsters. Also, during the end phase, we are going to summon out two of our banished Rrtual Beast monsters. Then we are going to activate ult Apelio's effect twice, then go into the ulti Cannahawk. We are going to then utilize the Cannahawk loop, summoning back two monsters and searching one while sending one card to the graveyard. Again, we're going to activate that Apelio. We are then going to go back into the ulti Cannahawk. We are going to have searched two different cards. We're going to activate Elder's effect. We are going to summon two monsters, the Elder and the Winda. Then they're going to try to banish our monster with a Dimensional Prison, but guess what? They used it against the Apelio, meaning nothing happens. We're going to attack over all of their monsters, and they are going to activate Triamid Cruiser. They're going to activate Pulse, and summon back one of their monsters. During the end phase, we are going to defuse once again. Apelio's effect is going to activate, giving us more fodder for the Banish pile. We're going to activate Apelio's effect again. They are going to activate their effect of King Golem, or Dancer, to get into King Golem, and then search the Sphinx, meaning I can't destroy this. If I end up destroying this, I'm going to have a very bad time, because I don't have a great answer to Sphinx. However, I could just return it to the hand with this boy, Petalfin. I'm just going to normal summon the Petalfin, because I have lethal right here. I know everything that they have, and there's nothing that they can do, even with the Triamid Pulse. So I just attack in for well over lethal, and that is game. Bada bing, bada boom. I won a game I should not have. And here we are, once again, against Ishizu Ishtar, going second this time, and they're running pre-science. Kind of interesting, but we'll see what happens. As you can see, they're playing Harpies. I don't know why they're playing it with pre-science, but hey, doesn't end up mattering all that much. We don't really have any way to get to the ulti Canahawk combo, so we do have Winda and a Sphere Karibo and a Book of Moon, so it's not all too terrible, but yeah, we ended up drawing not anything great. An Apelio is nice, but not perfect. So we're going to T-set and pass. They're going to return our Winda. I kind of figured this would happen, but we do have the Book of Moon if needed. They're going to activate their Harpy's Hunting Ground. They are going to then activate Power of the Guardian because reasons, and then proceed to attack. I'm going to just flip down the Cyber / Harpy Lady and take the 16. Then we're going to normal summon this Winda, and they activate Treacherous Trap Hole. Now, you may be thinking, hey, these people are using Treacherous Trap Hole, and it's not actually doing anything. But you'd be wrong. They're just using it at really bad times. They don't read Winda and the fact that it floats, and so they're just like, I'll just kill it now. They got a monster on the field, kill it. Which is a terrible, no good, very bad decision. Don't do this. Don't be like these people. The way to utilize Treacherous Trap Hole that literally shuts down all Rrtual Beast combos is to simply, when they normal summon Elder and normal summon Canahawk, then you pop both of them, and then they can't do anything. And it ends their turn, and it ends their day, and they're done. But here, as you can see, they end up popping a Winda going -1, -2 in card advantage, and we just summon out the Apelio and attack. And then at this point, it's pretty much game. I'm going to normal summon the Canahawk so that I can get a little bit more advantage. Again, I have this Sphere Karibo in hand, so we're not too worried. And I don't know what that set card was, but it was activatable. I don't know why they didn't activate it. I don't know what the conditions were or what happened, but they ended up not activating it for some reason. So there you go. We won. Alright guys, I'm going to quickly fast forward through this because as you've seen, there have been other Treacherous Trap Hole uses that have been pretty lackluster. Let me show you why Treacherous Trap Hole should be banned. So, first of all, we're going to be able to do our Rrtual Beast, Elder Canahawk, Ulti Canahawk combo loop thing pretty effectively. Now, here I do make a mistake. I go for a Petalfin. I should not have gone for a Petalfin, I should have gone for a second Winda, but I didn't because I'm bad. Also, Melodious has a stupid card, a very stupid card, called Score. Melodious Score, something along those lines. Which is a really dumb card, which changes the attack and defense of a monster your opponent controls that is being attacked by a Melodious monster during damage calculation to 0. Meaning, you can't respond to it at all. Meaning, it's a very stupid card and realistically shouldn't be in Duel Links where the life points are 4,000. Because this card alone can basically kill someone immediately. It's really disgusting. This card probably shouldn't exist in the game, but it does. I don't know why. Anyway, they're going to attack in for not quite lethal, proccing our Destiny Draw. So we're going to Destiny Draw. I am going to add the Lightning Vortex to the hand. I am going to activate Lightning Vortex. I'm going to pitch the Canahawk because I needed something in the graveyard for our Laura. And then they're going to activate Treacherous Trap Hole. That is how you activate Treacherous Trap Hole against Rrtual Beast, but also Treacherous Trap Hole should be banned. Yeah, sure, I mean, I top decked a Lightning Vortex and got rid of their entire deck, or their entire field, but in all honesty, the fact that that's activatable during the opponent's turn, and you don't have to do really anything for it, is the problem. Lightning Vortex, you have to discard a card, and all of their monsters have to be face up, And yeah, it has to be on your turn. Just saying. And most people don't play multiple because it's kind of a brick. Anyway, that's all. Treacherous Trap Hole should be banned. Thank you, Konami. Please ban this card. I swear if you don't in this next ban list, I'm gonna cry. Alright, so after those duels, I'm sure you're thinking, well, this deck doesn't look too great or anything like that. But the thing is, it doesn't look great. It never looks like it's exceptional or anything like that. Like, the plays it makes are way over the top, and you're making these incredible boss monsters like BLS or, you know, like... Score? I don't know. Score is a boss monster, basically. Anyway, but the point of it, the matter is, that it's incredibly consistent. It's really versatile. It's hard to kill a Rrtual Beast player, like, just straight up. If they have a Winda, if they have, like, Sphere Karibos in hand, or, you know, if they have the extra advantage to defuse, or a myriad of things, it's very difficult to kill them. And most importantly is that there's not really anything that is consistently in the meta that ends up killing Rrtual Beasts. The reason they're not seen in side deck formats is because there are cards like Poisonous Winds or Artifact Lancia that really shut down the strategy and prevent them from basically playing the game. However, the upside of not having a side deck in this is that those cards can't just randomly be played, right? You're not just randomly going to run into a Poisonous Winds where all of a sudden you can't special summon any of your wind type monsters, which, by the way, all of these are wind type. They're all wind. So, I mean, all in all, it's just a very solid deck. And as I mentioned, the more you play it, the better you get. I'm sure that those duels, for someone who hasn't played Rrtual Beasts or hasn't ever seen them, were very confusing. But the more you play it yourself, the more you test it out and figure out how it works, the better you're going to get and the more fun it's going to get. It's just a highly versatile, highly addictive, just stupid fun deck that I would definitely suggest to anyone. Also, it comes from a mini box. All of these cards, every single one of these cards, can be gotten from a mini box, which means that it's incredibly cheap compared to a lot of the other decks. Sure, you could say, hey, things like Book of Moon and Sphere Karibo and Herald of the Abyss are outside of my price range. I can't quite get those because they're either from irrelevant boxes like Sphere Karibo, or they're from another main box, which is hard to get. And honestly, you could take out any of these cards and put them with anything that you have. Just any of these cards, except for Tretch, you could basically play, right? You have Chalice, play it. You got, you know, Mystical Space Typhoon, sure, play it. Maybe not Karma Cut, but Floodgate Trap Hole, absolutely. There are a million different ways to play this deck as well. I would highly suggest going and looking at other deck profiles. It's just incredibly versatile. As I've mentioned once again, and I'm sorry, but there's just so many different ways to play it, and I would love if more people played this deck. So please, please, oh please, if you are at all interested, if you made it this far into the deck profile, please consider playing this deck. Play it, please. In the KC Cup, you will see that it's really good. You will see that the more you play it, the more you enjoy it, and the better you are at it, the better results you're going to get. Right? It's not some coin flip deck. It's something where if you know how to pilot the deck, you're going to get better and better, and it's going to be better and better. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.